Welcome world to another Crying Stones broadcast. Self-professed Bible preachers have an obligation to speak to the issues of the day from a Bible perspective, and they're largely failing. Christ said, "I tell you that, if these should hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out." So here we are. In recent months, our illustrious Vice President J.D. Vance has declared it to be a matter of fact that, quote, everyone has free will, and that, quote, one of the most important Christian principles is that you respect free will. Now, before Mr. Vance elects himself to be some kind of New Order Pope, we think it is helpful and right to explain to everyone that Mr. Vance is, in fact, wrong. As wrong as you can possibly get on the most important topic there is to be right about, your soul's salvation. To declare something a Christian principle would require it to be established by Christ. Seeing that Mr. Vance adheres to Catholicism and not Christianity, making this mistake is somewhat understandable. Since Catholics are routinely told as a core part of their belief system that the words of men take precedent over the words of the Bible, perhaps Mr. Vance is just ignorant of Christ's words. But if you're going to call yourself a Christian, it is non-negotiable and imperative that you align with Christ. If you don't want to follow Christ and keep his words as your driving force, become a Hindu. Or stay a Catholic, it's roughly the same thing. Christ clearly declared that there is no such thing as free will when at Matthew 6 verse 27 he said, quote, which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature? In context, he was speaking to his people about how God promises to provide their needs, and if you can't exercise your free will to accomplish anything in that regard, or to add a cubit to your height, how much more impossible is it to save your own soul? He also plainly said at John 6:44, no man can come to me, except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. Where is there room for free will there? There is no free will if you're being drawn to Christ. To be his follower is dependent on the Father drawing you to him. You didn't do anything. You can't do anything. In your naturally depraved state, you won't do anything. Christ does not promote the respect of free will, therefore it is not a Christian principle, and you, sir, are a liar. You should really stop that. There are no liars in heaven. Good day, friends, and if it be God's will, may you be called to his perfect election and be granted the peace of his grace.